Yo, what's going on, fellas?
What's happening, brother?
It's good.
And today, another Breaking the Narrative podcast episode. And today, we're going to be talking about something very positive. Stop.
Magic Johnson?
Shut up. Shut up, bro.
Okay.
Already, man. For real?
All right. You said something positive.
I can't stand you, dog. But no, we're not talking about Magic Johnson. We're talking about the gift of giving or helping others.
Okay.
So, helping others it's always a good thing to receive in a way, but giving is a whole nother feeling in general. It's something that you just have to feel innately inside of you. But the thing is, a lot of people normally, some people would rather take than give. But in our case, give is more of our thing. So I would like to hear on both of y'all's behalf. Like, which one, like, what exactly how do y'all feel about it?
Mark's the guest, so he can go first.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Like, pretty boy Mark. Go ahead and do the deep bedroom voice for the ladies. Go ahead. He's in there cheesing. Got the Michael John White smile.
But I definitely agree with the whole thing. It is indeed a gift, even for example, I've had many hard days of work where it's just annoying as hell to deal with, but the fact that you stick to it and giving your best, like even little things like that, people are very appreciative for what it is that you do. I've gotten thank you so many times, and they're just so appreciative just to be seen and be so cared for. And that actually helped me feel better and get me through my days most of the time. So it is indeed a gift of, just doing your best and trying to be caring for others.
Yeah. I like the way that sounded, because that sort of, it sort of equates to how I feel about it. Because when you really are a giver, you don't necessarily ask for a thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like you're just giving one for the fact of you're helping.
Right.
You're appreciative of it. However, this is not something that you're working towards, which I think a lot of people kind of misconstrue that, where they feel as though they should be thanked all the time for just doing good things. It's like, if you're doing good, it's not going to come with a thank you all the time.
Right. Well, so it definitely feels good to have the acknowledgement for that.
Yes,
for
that's
sure.
true.
But I think what really it is for people like you and me is just knowing that you actually are creating a positive change. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you're actually doing something about it that brings the environment of something much better, because you're contributing. Just like there's much negative that comes in, the more positive you actually put in there, and the more positive will come out of the whole situation. So I think it's just the mentality of knowing that you're actually putting more in the atmosphere for it to change and become better is the gift for us.
Yeah. I agree with that, because just the idea of just putting that energy out into the atmosphere and trying to spark change in other people based off of how positive you are. Like, I do that consistently, where I try my best to make sure that everybody's okay. And I used to do that at the expense of myself, which I had to grow out of, because, some people will tend to take advantage of it. But that did not diminish my willingness to help, which is something that I am thankful for. But when you are trying to help somebody, or just for the sake of doing so, not even for a thank you, not because they asked you, it's just in my nature to do so. So I'm going to help you as best as I can. And if I can't help you, I'm going to try my best to find somebody who can.
All right, yeah, you indeed a genuine guy, Mike.
Facts.
Well, I don't know about that. I had to hit you with that and say, I got to be humble. But
well, that's not really being humble. That's kind of being in denial.
No, it's called being humble. I will not accept denial.
Do you think that's being humble, Mark, or is that being in denial?
Well, this could be a deep conversation, because there's a definition for that. He knows that he's that. Being in denial, means he actually genuinely believes that he is not that. He knows that he is. He just wants to deflect that. So it's neither or.
Well, no, deflect means denial. Just gonna throw that out there.
Tomato to tomato, but
Right. But
Back on the real-
but they're both the same thing, right?
no.
No, isn't a tomato and a tomato the same thing?
Well,
Yeah. Answer the question. Is it, is it or is it not the same thing?
is this speaking of the exact same thing?
Right, it's
regardless,
just-
but
Yeah.
Perspective based, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in denial, Mike. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good denial. I mean, I can see if he's out here being in denial about killing people or
I
something.
mean, the only
You know
reason
what I mean?
why only reason why I wouldn't really genuinely call it denial, because like I said, he did it for the sake of, he's like, I gotta be humble. So he acknowledged and he's aware that it was something to say to be humble. You know, that's why I say it's not true denial. He knows it.
That's denial. Being humble with just accepting the compliment and moving on, not deflecting it. That's denial.
I just said I'm all right.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. Y'all give
Well,
me compliments. I'm
I'll
like, all right,
I'll
I'm
call
all right.
that being modest.
Yeah, saying he's all right is modest. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, then
A few
I'll
seconds
use
ago, that's not
I'll
what
use the
you-
term modest then, instead of being humble.
Yeah, you completely deflected a few seconds ago though. You didn't say you was all right.
All right, then what exactly verbatim did I say?
No, I can't say verbatim. All we can do is all I can do is sum it up.
Okay, sum it up.
You deflected it.
I didn't say I deflected it. What did I say?
No, you didn't say that. I'm saying that's what you did though. You didn't say I'm all right.
Okay. Cool.
That's good.
Moving on.
I was gonna say, we got two politicians right here that's just sitting there going back and forth. I'm still, I'm waiting to find out what your take is on this whole situation, on this subject here. Like, how do you feel about it?
I'm a giver. A massive giver, so to speak. That's one of the lanes where I'm kind of arrogant in.
Okay.
So I'm not humble in this department. You know what I'm saying? I'm not modest. You know what I mean? Like, we grew up a certain way in a certain area.
All right, so where do you draw the line for it to be too much giving?
Oh, that's easy. It would all comes down to circumstances. I feel like a lot of the time you can kind of tell when people abusing the help, taking advantage of the help, don't really need help and just being greedy. Like, a lot of times you can really tell that, but because you're a giver, you tend to overlook that kind of thing.
Yep.
So once you come to a conscious decision within yourself to draw the line with a pen, not a pencil, because when you do it with a pencil, you tend to go back and erase, and next thing you know, you're getting abused again.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So once you do that, you focus on that every day. So then it just becomes easier to, that's an unfortunate situation, but, can't really do nothing for you right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we all know the community work that we do,
Yeah.
which, we're big on giving back to the community in some way, shape, form, or fashion, whether it's with feeding the less fortunate, the homeless, or even the content that we create. Because, technically, that counts as well.
Yeah, I would say so.
To a degree.
And if you did want to mark that down as one of the assets that
I would.
that you bring, then
Yeah.
I can definitely see that, because it's always good to bring laughter. It's also good to bring pain.
Yeah.
So to be transparent is a very good thing for the community, because they can see you for you, and you will be able to convey a message a lot better that way when you're being as transparent as possible.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, that's cool.
And with your whole community work, so like that's pretty much the pinnacle there almost. Like you feed the homeless, used to be on a somewhat consistent basis before the pandemic.
Definitely before the pandemic. Got to figure out a way to strategically be back out there at the same time as keeping everybody safe.
Yeah.
And just being careful. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of different, beliefs and what's real and what isn't real. But just to be on the safe side.
All right. So, do you see yourself like being a supplier for a facility that actually could distribute to the community? Like, like for example, bringing blankets or whatever to a homeless shelter, anything like that. And then, so they are the facility that really brings it to the people, but you're actually help supplying some of that stuff.
Well, we do both. Like we go to the shelters too. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So it's whatever when we plan it out beforehand, whatever seems like the logical option at that time. So summertime, you kind of can just scour the city and you'll see homeless people everywhere.
Hmm.
Wintertime is cold, so they're going to be more hard to find, or the shelters will be more open to letting them in. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So then you go to the shelters, you take pizza and you take like clothes and just anything really. You know what I mean? Like once you're in that kind of situation, you'll take whatever you can get your hands on, so to speak. So like on my birthday, well, a few days before my birthday, we went to the shelter, but only because like our normal spot, which was the Franklin Square, they shut it down because they're supposed to be remodeling it,
Hmm.
which I don't get because it's an open park. But we'll see about that. So yeah, we went to the shelter, at least the only shelter that I knew of. I'm quite sure there's plenty of shelters in DC. I just gotta sharpen the.
I
Yeah.
definitely have been doing some thinking about that myself because just the other night, the night before Father's Day, I don't know if it's the same place or not. I wasn't really paying attention to the street, but I know we was on the way to Adams Morgan, me and my homie,
Mhm.
and I just happened to look over, and it was literally like a whole community of tents, as if they was tailgating, but it was like obviously, they
Home-
were,
yeah.
and I was just like,
Yeah.
dang man, like it's getting worse and worse. Like I never seen like so many tents in one spot like that, and up in DC on that one little patch, and it was like you could see them gathering around, like you saw how you see the homies up the street, gather
Mhm.
around cooking out or whatever. It looked like that though. They was literally around talking to each other and everything. And I was like, dang, bro, like what could I do about it? It just really made me want to do something about it. And I was like, what could I do for it? Like,
Yeah. What I tell
know.
people is like sometimes whether it's something like water or anything, just give something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then hopefully, if enough people do it, then they can start to accumulate stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's nothing you can fix on your own as a solo act.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is a massive problem
a
across
step
the
forward is a
world.
step forward though. But
Right. So yeah, just any little thing, like any little amount of change. It ain't gotta be because a lot of people like they feel like even if you ain't got a lot of money, I don't have a lot of money, but
Nope.
50 cent here, a dollar there, they can
Mhm.
wander to the dollar store and, you know what I'm saying? Just any little thing will help. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, you don't want to not give because you think you're not giving enough. Yeah.
I agree with that, bro. Like, 'cause when you do see homeless people around, it's just like, what can I possibly do? And then when you think about it more, it's like, can I just go? I could go to the store, get them something, or like I could get them some food from like a fast food place.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like that. Anything helps for real.
Facts.
Cause not unless you find the really unappreciative homeless people, but that's rare, very very rare.
I mean, well, you run into them though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible.
Right. Some are too good for certain stuff.
Yeah, that's also true.
But, yeah.
But that again, that doesn't hinder like your reasoning for trying to help.
Heck no. Because there's plenty of others that just take what you was gonna give them.
Yeah, and I've come to notice that a lot of people who are like helpers, they'll really get deterred easily by the very rude people
Right.
who are more like they're more along the lines of just me. Though they're used to being the takers
Right.
Mhm.
instead. So even if you give them something, they feel as though they deserved it anyway.
Right.
Well, that's just a matter of reminding yourself why you're doing it, and sometimes you even. I'm trying to think of a way to say this carefully because, for example, I've seen YouTubers do things, and it's like, what is it that you're really recording this for? What is it that you're really putting this out there for? And I can speak for two examples. Like for me watching it encourages me more, and I'm like, I like that. If I was to ever become famous or rich, I want to be able to easily just dish out $100 here or there, or just because of that. And seeing that, I genuinely felt that. Now I'm not sure why they really are doing it or why they're recording it and put it on the internet, but at the same time, even if you used to see yourself doing it, sometimes it even enlightens you even more. They're like, hey, yeah, this is why I'm doing it. So sometimes you just gotta chalk it up to really remembering why you even stepped out there in the first place.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. My opinion on that, because that's a quite often a debate that I used to get into. Well, as far as the whole recording thing goes, me personally, I don't care. Whether you recording yourself doing it, people recording you doing it, as long as you're doing a good deed. Because there's so much, like, people never say anything about people that's recording murders on camera, you know what I'm saying? Like, or sex or all this other stuff that just got everything haywire. But as soon as it's something positive, oh, you should just do it. You know what I mean? Like, no, that needs to be shown too. Because, like you said, it's inspiration.
Yeah,
like,
it
I might be too nervous to go out there, but if I see Mike do it, I'm gonna step out there too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so I really have.
It's just a matter of hope that it does encourage. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, hopefully it sends the positive message. Because, like I said, some people just doing it because they want to be out there and show that they do it. It's kind of like a patting yourself on the back type of thing, a self-righteous thing. Because the thing is it's more so if you know you're doing it and why you're doing it, then I guess that really what matters to you most.
Yeah.
But, like,
I'm not against.
it's a bonus of hoping that somebody
I'm not
gets
against a
inspired.
person doing it just to pat themselves on the back either. Because, like, at the end of the day, we gotta understand, like, how life really is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Only thing I worry about that when it comes to that is because if you're doing it for vanity reasons, you can also stop doing it for vanity reasons. Like, seems like you're more easily to be swayed from doing it in the first place. It's like you can get distracted off of that.
That's probably true too. But at the end of the day, people still was, at least for a moment of time, getting help, and that's just the help thing is the operative word. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's so many different reasons of why somebody cannot be out there no more, stop going out there. And it's
Facts.
like, I could be supplying the whole city and then lose my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing I can do about that. So it's just, I just chalk everything up to. And then, at the end of the day, nobody's obligated to go help either. Like, you just make a conscious decision to want to go help somebody.
Right.
So that's why I say we've been out there about 3-4 years, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, at this point, you done dealt with hundreds upon hundreds of them. It really is just like, as long as you're out there doing something, that's all that matters to me. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
Me personally, I've never really been out there with you and shit, but I do feel bad when I don't get a chance to go, especially now due to my condition. But still, I always come over here, help. I would send the clothes.
Yeah.
And I remember when we was over here for like 3-4 hours making sandwiches.
Yeah, the sandwiches. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Good times. Like, and the fact is, like, it was a way for me to help in general.
Yeah.
I didn't care that these clothes that I weren't gonna wear anyway was just gonna go. They were leaving. Like, I didn't care.
Right.
Because I knew what they were going towards.
Right.
Like, I sent them over to, like, if I was sending them like the Goodwill or something, there's no chance that it's gonna be accurate to where these are actually going. They're gonna go to somebody that really needs them. There's no chance of me knowing where it's gonna go.
Right.
But when I give stuff to you, I know where it's going already.
Right.
So your type of charity is something that I support because there's a definite in it.
Right.
Because first and foremost, like, your someone's videotaping the whole process.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
someone's going to let you know, oh, this is what your stuff is going towards.
Mm-hmm.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
So,
and that's another reason why I like the pictures and videos type of thing. It's just so a person can see, like, everything from the start to the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Even though we don't record the full process every time, or we don't take pictures every time, at least detail. You know what I'm saying? But there are times where you just like, I record us making the sandwiches or us buying the pizzas, and you record like, you know, wherever park you're going to, where it's at, so other people can know where they should go. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever shelter you're at, or like you said, sending clothes over or helping with the sandwiches. Like you don't have to even be out there as long as you're doing something. Damn, I know Mark go out there next month. Let me go ahead and drop off these bananas or something, or let me drop off these canned goods. Let me drop off, you know, just any,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying, just any little thing, because it takes, you know, it takes a village. That's a
And that's
cliche
what brought me to asking you about you bringing stuff to like the shelters. Though like some shelters, and it's unfortunate because there are some shelters out there that are making it difficult to even receive such things that are free, that can contribute to helping out, that are given by other people. But just the fact of you having a middleman or a basis with, because you mentioned how you said like due to the pandemic it kind of slowed things down a little bit, but I'm
Right.
like there's still shelters out there that people are still working in, and I'm like, well, you know, even though I'm not going to be the one who's going to give it directly, can I bring it somewhere where people who are actually getting paid, or just literally in a facility that will do that?
Right. Well, when the pandemic first started, everything was closed. Like, there's no way to like do nothing. But more so towards like probably the beginning of this year, there probably was like ways to carry that out. But because I think we done it twice between late last year and then around my birthday time this year, so we've just been outside both times. Like I said, because I wouldn't even, you know, walking in facilities and stuff like that, I really don't trust it. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially that kind of facility where it's like there's so many ingoing and outgoing people, you never know what's going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So it's just like, make sure you're taking all the precautionary measures and things like. That's why also around my birthday time when I went out there, I didn't take everybody with me either.
Yeah.
You remember I was telling you that I only took 3 people because I was like, I don't want to put too many people in harm's way.
Yeah, because it was you, Mike, Abe, well, Black Abe.
Black Abe, and I think he had somebody with him. I think Black Abe had somebody with him. But other than that, it was just like, nah, everybody else could just stay around here and then get ready for the other part of the day. You know?
I actually would have ended up going if you had asked.
Yeah, I know. Like, a lot of people wanted to go, like, but I was just like, nah, I just didn't want everybody, you know, to be put in harm's way like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, of course, everybody had gloves and masks and stuff on, but still, you just want to be safe. We can go knock out these 8 pizzas or sodas and drinks and stuff, and then we right back around here.
Yeah, bro. That was a good day, nonetheless. Even though I didn't get a chance to go and shit, that was still a good day, nonetheless.
Yeah, and of course there'll be future, you know,
Yeah.
outreaches and whatnot. So
See, Mark, he's letting you know ahead of time, so
yeah,
go ahead, stop through. Me too. I plan on being in one or two of them eventually and shit.
Yeah.
it's a very
Oh,
good
sure,
experience.
ain't no issue.
Yeah, it's a very good, and it keeps you humble. You talk about humble earlier. It definitely keeps you humble, just mingling and interacting and hearing so many like different stories of what people been
Absolutely,
through.
like, because
Yeah.
one, it's just like it just puts you in the spotlight where you're just like, hey man, it could be me or whatever the case may be. And there are some people who literally you be like, how do they do it? And they literally just living there like every day, like it almost as if it's not happening to them.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you know
Yeah.
they put you on. And see, that's one thing. Like I always used to tell myself this little quote: I'd rather listen to a man that's on the street who's giving me advice than somebody who's rich trying to give me advice. Because you can lose sight of a lot of things when you're in a good place. But when you're in a bad place and you're still trying to help me out, trying to help me be above you, yeah, you know, that's definitely humbling right there.
Yeah, that's definitely a very humbling experience.
Yeah. I actually like that. That was a good way of putting it. Because there are people, like, at heights worth reaching that will just look down at you and it's like, well, you can get here. Like, it's a lot of people will just say, well, I made it here, so can you.
Yeah,
And that's the bulk of the
Yeah.
that's the bulk of the conversation. They don't get, there's no, like, inner detail. There's nothing else. Like, I made it, so can you. That's slightly motivating, but you're not giving me anything of substance. But if someone's gonna like tell me this is the way you should do it, these are the mistakes I made, I'm gonna keep you from making those mistakes because this is what landed me here. Those type of people, while some of them still exist at the higher and the highest of heights, there aren't too many of them.
Right.
Which is the reason why the world is the way it is now.
Facts.
Yeah.
But the ones that are worth speaking to, that are giving you the real spiel, they're more than likely gonna be at the bottom because they've failed before.
Right.
Like I'd rather, like in general, I'd rather speak to someone who's failed than someone who spent their entire life succeeding.
And I do believe that's a real thing. Well, because one, I know it's a real thing because I personally connect to that. Like, no, I haven't been really on the streets for real or anything, but I've been in situations where I've failed, or I know quite a bit of certain things where I fell off, and I'll tell people certain things, but then I've gotten that, well, if you're still going through this and you still haven't overcome it, why should I listen to you thing? So I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, it's facts. Like, you don't want to be here. You don't want to experience what I experienced in case you haven't experienced it already.
Right.
So, yeah, and I genuinely mean this when I'm telling you this. Like, they wouldn't be able to tell at the time, of course, but, it's like I genuinely felt that regardless of whether you're an enemy or not, I still trying to tell you something like, you don't want to be here. You don't want to experience this. I definitely wouldn't wish this on my enemy. So like I personally do connect with that as well, and that's why like I'm so big on that. Of course it's a smart thing to listen to if you haven't been that person, but when you actually do that, like it's always a 100% forward thing.
Right. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. And then of course, it's other, like it doesn't have to be in the community. There's other ways,
Yeah.
family, friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's tons of ways to be a giving person.
Yeah, bro.
You know.
My giving like usually just went to like single people or like a solid group, which usually would have put me in like a bad spot back in the day. But nowadays, it's just like I learned how to say no. I put myself first before I did anything of the helpful nature. And you start to realize who certain people are. If you stop helping them, then they stop talking to you.
Right.
So that's like the drawbacks of being a helper, which is something that a lot of helpers have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of negatives that come with being a helper, but if it doesn't deter you from your idea of being a helper or you just wanting to help others, then that means that you are innately meant to do that. And that's something that I had to learn myself. It's ingrained in me to help, regardless of anything. Even if I wanted to, there's no way I could possibly stop helping.
That's why I said you're a genuine dude, because I've seen and heard the stories of how many times you've gotten the burn from, trying to help and everything like that, because people just have the habit of being like, well, it doesn't feel pleasing, even though you're saying you're helping. I just don't like the way it feels. So, it's toxicity coming from you when you actually are genuinely trying to help. Just those people who just want what they want or want to feel whatever it is they feel or however they perceive that it's supposed to feel. And so now you're getting burned from that. But regardless of that, like you still wanted to help. And so that's why, like I said before, you are a genuine dude.
Yeah, I accept it. See, Abe? I said it. Yeah, I accept it.
Yeah, that's why I looked up like that. That was,
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I
was like, what?
I was waiting for you to do it. That's why I was like, yeah.
Mike's definitely a genuine dude. Mike's helped me out in some life-saving situations. So I'm forever indebted to Mike.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah, likewise. I think we all got the same feeling about each other now. I can say the same about y'all too.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of like genuine friendships is like once you get to those battle tested situations and then you get out of them, it's just like, okay, well, at least I know Mike's gonna do this. You know, oh, damn, he's
Message.
yeah, he's gonna.
We got
he's
the
gonna-
audience, the listeners going over there. Oh,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
bullshit.
I mean, because it's been so many times where it's been the other. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, damn, I thought we was boys, or I thought we was bros. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Man, I ain't.
Nah, I ain't even hear from this nigga. Yeah. I definitely pride myself on not being like them people. I
Yeah.
hated that.
Yeah,
Like that idea of just being around when things are good and when things are bad is like I don't show up.
yeah.
Yeah, I hated that.
Or you just, because it's the same thing about how the community is. It's like just because somebody needs one thing, it doesn't mean they won't accept other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like you still can accept positive words,
mm-hmm.
the presence, the positive energy. Like it's so much, you know what I'm saying? Like so much stuff that you could just offer a person when they down on their luck or in need, and just
Yeah. It'll kick in right away, or it'll kick in whenever it needs to.
facts, super facts. So
Yeah, bro. Like, it's really a tough situation when you have to deal with like people who just think the opposite. When you're just like, oh, I just want to help, and they think, what do you want out of this? I've had so many people they think that the reason why I was helping them is because I wanted something.
right,
But that just means they went through something themselves.
Yeah.
Though. Like
I'm,
there's first and foremost the societal thing of how everything is supposed to look, quote unquote, is
Facts.
what ruins that. That dilutes the whole true blood of, you helping out. But then there's those who like literally go through the hurt and the pain, and like I said, it goes back to hurt people. They experience something where they're just like, why?
right.
And now it's like it's brainwashed, where they just like they can't fathom as to what's going on. Like, yeah, it's too good to be true.
mm-hmm.
Everybody has too many rainy days, and then like regardless if it's a few years apart or whatever, it's still a memory that's embedded, and sometimes it's a traumatizing experience that'll always come back, and you're just like, I did overcome this, or it felt like I overcame this, but I still have that memory, and now I still have that slight shock value that's going to kick in and be like, well, I have to be careful. What is this for? So, it sucks to see that.
Yeah, but that's just a culmination of like a lot of things that didn't happen. Like, well, they might have happened. You just choose to ignore all the stuff. Like, I'm quite sure your parents or your guardians told you, how to heal from situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had real friendships growing up, then you should have experienced times where it's like you'll get into arguments and fights, but then that doesn't mean like you're not friends anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people like nowadays they act like they've never been through that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's. Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're talking
that
about.
emphasizes the power of expectations and disappointments.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, bruh. There's like certain things that I had to deal with personally with people, and I didn't have like a whole bunch of like super great friendships growing up. Is it
okay.
like because the people I was really cool with now, I don't even talk to.
Right.
So I didn't really start developing friendships until after I left high school.
Okay.
So with me, I didn't have the whole we fight one day and then we're friends the next, and it wasn't ever like that. Cause I didn't really want to fight people anyway. I was just.
I mean, no, when I said fight, I mean like
I know, like
yeah,
fight, arguments, all that other
arguments and
stuff,
shit
like
that.
in general.
Yeah.
But it was like not too many arguments I had with friends and stuff like that. The only arguments we really have is like sports, anything like that. We never had like no real conversations. I didn't get too much of that because I was, I think throughout majority of my high school years, I was best friends with mostly females.
Okay.
So and females can be a little bit catty, so it's like kind of like a disconnect there.
Right.
So with me being male, them being females, like somewhat conflicting arguments because they have their ideas, I have mine, but at the same time, it's just like these are sex-based ideas.
Facts.
Like one being female, one being male, so it's like they're not going to relate to my side, and I don't have multiples of multiple men here, or there's not multiple females for her side.
Right.
So we can't really come to an agreement. So as far as arguments or anything like that, I didn't have too many of them because I was like also very soft spoken anyway. So it was like, if we're gonna have an argument, I'm gonna try my best to disengage.
Right.
I could feel that. I definitely, from the experience that you had, because I actually do have more female friends than male friends.
Do you?
Yeah, like it's always been that way. Growing up as a kid, like even been told, like, you got to hang out with boys more. Why you always hanging out with girls? Because I guess the old school thing is you gonna end up being very feminine if you hanging out with too many girls. But like, I just so happened that I didn't have too many male friends, and when I did, I had a small circle of male friends, and that's why I use the term brother. Like, the brotherhood thing was always a serious deal for me. When I started calling you my brother, that was it. Like, it's not friends, it's brothers.
Right.
And so, I've definitely lost some male friends. I've actually seen more manipulative actions from my male friends than anything, because, when a female's involved or a female comes around, then that's where it's a competition. Unfortunately, I had to undergo that. Even if I didn't care to compete for the female, I just wanted to hang out with the brothers. But it was always a disconnect because of that.
Right.
So, it was a very few dudes that I actually had the opportunity to hang out with for a long, long time. I've had a few years here or there, but majority of my male friendships was always disconnected because it was a female. And me personally, I didn't care about that. If I had a female on my side that I was dealing with, I didn't want my relationship to always come between me and my friendships. And that's one thing I always try to tell the girls I dated. I was like, yeah, I would love to have you as a wife and everything like that, and that is the goal. But also, I do have my friends, especially my brothers, and if they was to call me in the middle of the night and you feel a certain type of way, I'm sorry. Hopefully we can talk that out later. But I do have my friends, that are here, and it's not just about, disengaging from you.
Right.
It's just, yeah. But it was a lot of dudes. It was just like, it was over a female, whether a relationship or not, that really disconnected us. And it was just like, well, it is what it is. That's disappointing. So, it wasn't too many dudes that I had around.
Okay.
That's true. Stuff like that happened to me consistently. But it's you learn to roll with the punches.
Yeah, I just don't do the whole bravado stuff. Like, people want, like, man, I'm top dog. I don't care about sitting there trying to promote me being top dog or not. I'm just me. Do what you do, but just don't bring the issues to me.
Yeah. I was in a good situation too. I didn't care about being top dog. Odds are I never was anyway. But it was. We joke a lot with you about the looks thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, because of like who some of my best friends was growing up, it's like it's easy to joke about because I've already been accustomed to like having somebody in the camp that just gets all the girls based on looks and shit. Mm-hmm. So, and like you said, a lot of guys, it is funny.
It is. We both had to go through that because I remember like I had to go through the same stuff.
Yeah.
It was certain dudes well, he gonna get all the girls.
Yeah.
Because of what he looks like.
But it's like it never was like a jealousy thing.
Nah.
Like, cause I maybe because we people, we always see the positive and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So all I would be thinking was like, well, at least the baddest chick is in our camp. You know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that.
Yeah, I ain't never thinking like that, but
I did. And then you couple the fact with like, we go out. Let's say Mark get like 10 girls or something. I'm gonna get 3 or 4, which is way too much for me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm happy regardless. You know what I mean? Like, if I can get 1, I'm happy. Yeah. Because you gotta think, we go out. Let's say we go out once a week, and after like 4 or 5 weeks, you gotta think that's 5 girls. Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's 4 or 5 girls in a month span. What am I gonna do with 4 bitches in 1 month? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's way, so it's like niggas probably don't even think like that. You really only need 1 girl technically, maybe 2. But, just because I see him get 10, I'm jealous. You know what I'm saying?
Only need 1, the monogamous type.
I'm monogamous too, but we single men, so it's like I'll dibble and dabble.
I don't know. I heavily invest myself into one person.
I'm a little bit obsessed of the idea of the one.
Like I'm
they
the
so fake
putting
right
all
now,
of your
yeah.
eggs into one basket type. Like, I've
I
always
mean,
been like that.
don't
Mike-
get me
Mike's telling-
wrong.
Mike's telling the
I'm a
truth.
guy
Mark's lying.
still, but
Yeah,
at the same
Mark.
time,
Oh, Mark.
I'm a guy still. You know, don't get me wrong. You know, that's always just gonna be a thing, I guess. But at the same time, it's just like what you do with that, and you know, it's the right time for everything as well. So it's just, I don't know. But me having just that one to come home to,
Bro, you can tell the truth, bro. The podcast
that
is
is the
about
truth.
giving back to the community. So let's
we-
talk about the community
Transparency.
penis, community
and
penis
I-
that you're giving out. Let's talk.
I am being transparency. You know, it's of course you guys is just like, man, this dude is straight out of a comic book. But nah, that's
You
really me
are.
though. Like I said, I look at women for one.
Johnny
I like
Bravo.
to look at women, period, and that's just because like I'm very fascinated with the body and shapes and all that. You know, that's artwork for me. But literally, like, if I can just have that one, like, I tell myself that all the time. Like, I can look at one person, I'm like, man, if I just got that one, I'm set. I'm good. You know, I'm more obsessed with that dream right now. And I only call it a dream because I'm not sure how soon that'll come. But I'm really, you know, engraved with that. Like, I just want that. Like, if I can go ahead and find that one that I ain't got to worry about nothing else, then good, period. One, it's not too much responsibility, and I'm not sitting there just saying, oh, yeah, you know, like, less work, you know, the better, but you're going to put in your work when you need to. But just the fact that you have that loyalty, you know, to be with you, I mean, that's very comforting for me. So, I mean, that's all I need. If I find that one, that's that one, period.
Yeah,
And
but you're more
hope
than
that
likely
it doesn't fall apart.
You're more than likely to dibble and dabble and tell then.
What do you call dibble and dabble? Because I communicate. Yes, I have conversations, but if you talk about going ahead and find out interest, trying to purposefully find interest in another woman, then you're wrong for that. That's
No.
cheating.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about before the initial process of dating.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Dibbling.
talking about. Dibbling, dabbling.
Yeah, like
that.
he's not talking about being in a relationship with a girl and then having other ones on the side.
Well,
I'm talking about like let's say how we was outside filming,
Mm-hmm.
and we seen a female walking her dog. Remember you saying about the long locks and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Now let's say I would have approached her and got her number,
Mm-hmm.
and then time sped up, and when we was across the street filming, we seen the other female,
Mm-hmm.
and just that fast, I would have wanted to get her number.
Mm-hmm.
That's dibbling that. That's dibbling that.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
All right.
if I meet two chicks in one day, I don't have a problem getting two chicks in one day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
you
not
know, inquiring. You know,
yeah,
define
not if I'm in
something
a
to
if I'm in a
solidify.
committed relationship and I'm just well, you know, I do like some. Nah.
Yeah.
You trying to make me look bad.
And to me, well, nah.
Trying to make me sound bad on
I'm
the
not trying to
pod.
purposely trying to throw you out there, but
Yeah, he's perfect.
Fool
I
me.
mean, I found out that there, of course, there are slightly different definitions for dating to some people. 'Cause
yeah.
Well, me, in my
Yeah.
experience, like, I didn't have too much of the dating game going for me. It was like, okay, we talk and then such and such. Then next thing you know, we're in a relationship. So it wasn't like really too much time for me to go date this one girl and then next thing you know, I'm date. Like, for example, going out with one girl on Friday and then Sunday or whatever, I'm going out with another girl just to find out who will be the one. I never had that experience. Of course.
I mean, after you get screwed over so many times, you got slow shit down and be like, you know what? Let me just date all these bitches and then see who the most logical to mess with. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it doesn't seem plausible to me
Right.
anyway, you know, and I guess that's because the fact that I didn't have the chance to really experience that is why it's contributing to who I am now. Like, oh man, I'm not with dating multiple people at the same time. It's like, look, this is what I'm putting my time into right now. If you're still around, if things does not go right, which of course sounds bad because nobody wants, when you put that word rebound out there, it sounds harsh, but like, if you and I still end up having a connection or whatever, and then I'm not really putting my time into somebody else, even if it's dating and going all this other stuff, because again, if I'm going out with you, I'm serious about you. I'm actually trying to find out if that actually will become a thing.
Right.
But if it doesn't work out, and you are not putting your time into anything else, or if your feelings haven't gone away and we still have a disconnect or anything, then maybe we can do something like that.
Okay.
If you're willing. But other than that, like, I'm not into just going out on dates with multiple people trying to bag one, because the thing is, like, I feel like my emotions can actually contribute to this one girl. The next thing you know, things are going right with the other one. It's like now I'm stuck in between trying to decide, and you don't know who also invests
yeah,
that.
you keep
know,
dating them.
whatever.
You keep dating them until the answer's clear. That's what that's for.
I don't know. It
Feel
seems
me?
risky.
Like,
I know where
Because I'm
you're
also
going,
considering
but
the
it's
other
just like,
person as
it's
well.
not my forte.
Like, yeah, like I also consider the other person as well because like what if I'm okay with that, but then one of them might not be. I don't want to hurt them in the process either.
then she's disqualified. Easy decision. Like they like you. Like,
I don't know. I'm too considerate.
The
for
answer-
that.
Yeah,
The-
so
the-
am I. I'm way
Yeah,
too
man.
considerate.
How's that not? That's not considerate.
I'm just
No.
too conscious for that, and I don't. That's
If-
not
if,
what
if
I
she
want
got
to
a
do.
if she got a problem with it,
Granted,
that's an easy
granted,
fix.
it's not really 100% of your fault, but at this now, unless if you just sit here and say, "Hey, look, you're not the only one who I'm going out at night with," to inquire to see what could be a relationship.
You would communicate
Then,
that,
of course, there's that mature conversation. Hey, I'm with that or I'm not. So, it's not really entirely on you. But then also, like, I would be the type of person if I was to do that, I'm like, hey, look, me and you, we hitting it off pretty good. There's nothing wrong in between us, but I do find myself getting very more emotionally involved with this one. I'm not sure how this is going to click. I don't know if you still want to continue to date after this or not.
Right.
Then,
But that's all you can do. You gotta communicate to her crystal clear, and then whatever she decide to do, you just gotta live with it. That's it.
No.
The story writes itself, man.
I couldn't do
I've
that.
discovered that there's people who really don't do that. They be like, "Oh, I'm dating. We're
yeah,
we're there's no label, so it's just like I don't gotta tell you nothing for real." There's people out there that don't do that, and they're like, "All right, well, we wasn't even this," and it's just like, "Damn, bro,
That's like a female tactic, so they can.
that's selfish."
Yeah, so they can do that without technically being wrong.
Yeah, they
That-
put
that-
that technical
yeah,
part in,
that's what it-
and that's
I
where
mean,
it becomes a mental
technic-
issue because that actually mentally contributes to a lot of things, and it's just like now motherfuckers want to be out here being dogs.
Right.
I mean,
There's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
it plays a part, and it's rather unfortunate that a lot of people have to go through that, male and female.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's just like I'd rather be invested in one person at a time. That way, I don't feel as though I'm hurting somebody else because I've actually been on the receiving end of that, and I don't like the feeling. So to inflict the same pain on somebody else would be torture to me.
Yeah,
Because I'm very fragile when it comes to hurting people. I don't like doing it.
Right.
So even if I see someone hurt in front of me and I feel as though I haven't done anything for them or I haven't done enough, it still hurts. It still hurts me to the point where I feel as though I needed to do better at that point in time.
Right.
So there was an instance where I was working at Target and I was in the back room and I was in the break room and a person was back there. She was crying and I was sitting like one row over from her, and you know who this person is, but I'm not gonna mention the name. She was sitting right across like a row over from me. And I saw her. I saw the tears in her eyes. I saw how much and how pain she was in general. It hurt me
Right.
at that point in time, but I didn't do anything about it. And then the counselor came along.
Cold-hearted.
No, I didn't, because at that point in time, I was like, did I like how am I going to do anything to fix this? Because back then I was still in my shell as far as helping people. Well, when it came to helping like people in general, because I was very standoffish.
Right.
So, especially as someone that looked like her. So another thing. HR came along. They helped her out and they took her in the office. And then to this day, I still feel bad about it. Like I should have done more.
You should.
To this day,
you should have.
Yeah,
I should not.
You should feel bad.
Just the feeling of the what if, because it's like if you basically you just put, like mentally, subconsciously, you end up putting yourself in their shoes. Because like, man, if this was me, I would hope that somebody will do this because we, I'm pretty sure all of us, but me and Mike are a lot alike. And so it's kind of like, even though we don't say anything or do anything, we still have that hope that somebody can help and bring us out of that situation, even just a little bit.
Yeah.
And like,
for
example, I've had a coach.
We're definitely different because I would have said something to the girl.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have just ignored.
I mean,
I
didn't ignore it. I knew it was there. Like that.
I would too. And I actually just recently, got into the habit of like trying to step out of the show, because I've had, of course, like me working with predominantly females, I gotta be careful with everything that I say or do. I gotta really consider how I'm moving as a male, for one. But I've seen my coworkers hurt, quite a few of them, and
Right.
it's just like there's a point of time where I hear them getting upset or getting into these conversations, and I'm like trying to drown it out, because it's like, all right, Mark, it's really not your business. But at the same time, it's like you seen them hurt, and I can't. After a period of time, I can't continue to watch it. And it's like, well, am I going to be that coworker that's just going to walk out and pretend I didn't see it and continue to say it's not my business or anything like that? Especially if it's something that I've been through myself.
Right.
Like I could step in and put in a little thing, a little bit of advice to help out, at least, for later on, because it's just like you're sitting in that mindset. If I help out, is it going to make it worse? Because, of course, working with other females and being one of the very few males that work around a whole group of females, and then they also are invested in a time with another man outside of work, sometimes males can be very suspicious of certain things, even if there is nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, should I say something, because I don't want this man to think this, and the next thing you know, it's not, one, it's not the case, and two, it's just giving them something more to bitch about or be concerned about. I don't want to say bitch about it, because like we all got feelings, but for them to be totally concerned about. And there's actually been points where I'm like, look, man, even if I have to talk to dude to discuss whatever his worries and insecurities are, I can help level them down, because I've been there. But then there's just times I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna wait, especially if I'm gonna just wait till they get off the phone or whatever it is the situation, and be like, hey, look, blah 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 blah, because I don't want them to continue with that. And if I could even say anything, even if it's like the small percentage, I want to contribute, the next step up for them to get better. Because like just watching somebody hurt, it hurts me, for one, and two, I'm always putting myself in their shoes. It's just like, you can do something about it. If you're conscious enough to do something about it, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
See, and that's a real good thing to say, because I can segue into what I was going to say.
Okay.
Which is, after the situation that happened in that break room, I kind of like jumped out of the shell after that, because I felt so bad, so I never wanted to have to go through that again.
Right.
So even after that, there was also an instance where I was at the front.
All right, hold on. So before you get into that, because I did want to chime in on that situation.
Okay, what's your?
So there is one way we can fix that situation.
Which is?
Like, we can go find the girl and ruin her again, and then you can come along and right the wrong.
I hate you so much. Much.
I'm just saying. I'm being logical.
No,
here.
I'm not gonna do that. That was a very no.
Yeah,
That was bad.
All right.
Bad, Avery. Bad.
See, he's talking to me like I'm a dog.
That's what you sound like right now. Hit you with a fucking newspaper.
Mark, was I being logical? I mean, he wanted to right the wrong. He didn't.
To be honest with you, I was sitting there thinking about telling the audience that you were not serious, but I can't even tell.
That means I'm a good actor. Or am I?
You know what, bro? And with that, I'm going to my next topic. Man tried to ruin a good moment.
Just saying, could have righted that wrong, but okay. You want to live with that regret forever?
Yeah, that's something I have to live with. I have no other choice but to. But that's something I had to learn from.
Just gave you a choice.
No,
okay. All right,
regardless of if I make amends from it or not, I'm still going to regret that moment. Okay. It's not going to change it.
Well, I mean, it definitely made a win for you anyway, because it pushed you, that one experience. Now you helped you decide that you're not going to do that again.
And I'm still friends with the person to this day.
Well, that's true. It did push you.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But I'm still friends with her to this day.
So it knocked you out of your shell. So
yeah, it did. And
like Mark did his.
Yeah. And then after that, there was an instance when I was at the front of the store. The Starbucks where it was normally.
It's not there no more, or you just.
I don't even know if they changed it up or not.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, matter of fact, they did change the joint up. So it's like
I don't know.
I mean,
we even with the last time we went to Target, I didn't pay attention to that side of the whole. You just.
I mean, yeah, they kind of switched it up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It don't look the same as it used to, but I was up at the front of the store at the Starbucks, and then I saw one of my coworkers. She was actually crying at the table, at one of the tables, and I walked over there, and actually I gave her a hug, like, cause I felt as though like she needed one at that point in time. So that solidified me as just being out of the shell,
Okay.
and I didn't care about how someone else would feel about it, how I would feel about it. Like, do I feel as though I'm overstepping boundaries? No, it was just genuine. I felt as though she needed that, which is how I felt when the other girl needed that help. I felt that exact same way, but I was hesitant because of how I felt as though she would react.
Got you.
Right. And it's cool because like you never know how much somebody needed that until they actually express it. Like you could have had an idea of on the meter of 1 to 10 how much they needed it, and it could have been far more greater than the expectations that you had before, and it makes you even feel even better.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
And those are the things you got to learn when you're a helper. Like, it's not you wake up that day. Well, you wake up as soon as you come out of the you know what, and you just like, let me help the world. Nah, it's a process. You have to learn in order for you to help. It's not something that, I mean, it's innate, and it's something that's built inside of you when you're already out. However, you don't have to go into it knowing everything.
Yeah, I mean that's what our experiences are for, the good and bad, you know. And that I definitely can say, a lot of my bad experiences contributed very well, though I hate it and puts a very bad taste in my mouth. And I wish I could have learned some other way if possible. But you know that's why we have our experiences, and you know, for those who are not on that train yet, probably is because they haven't experienced something yet that woke them up.
Yeah. I feel like left out because I can't pinpoint a coming out of my shell moment. Like
I mean,
Because
well,
you've
you know,
always
like
been out
there's
of your shell,
just like
technically.
there's some people who were just natural born leaders, and some people who had to learn how to be. So it was already enabled in you.
I guess, but I'd like to have a cool story too.
I mean, what about your coming out party? Pause.
Yeah, that makes it sound like I'm gay.
Yeah, I was
going
gonna say, please fix that one.
Is your coming out party? When you started doing what was it, like doing the community work? Like that was technically your jump into the whole helping at any point type of thing. That technically was your beginning.
Yeah.
Like your step forward.
But I can't tell the backstory on that though.
I mean, I understand why you can't tell the backstory.
I'll paint myself as a villain, and then that's just part.
Yeah,
of
it's
I mean,
like
your story
you're the villain
is your
trying to.
story, but you had to go. You went through some type of discomfort in order for you to overcome it. So
yeah, massive.
Yeah, his story was like the villain trying to reconcile all the differences with the heroes.
Yeah, I could.
So,
We'll tell you off air, but
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you got the message. The point is that you get the message.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Compliments to Eddie Griffin because that's where I heard that from.
Shout out to Eddie Griffin, man.
Yeah, funny and very very knowledgeable dude.
Mm-hmm.
But whole time, bro, I can tell you right now, like helping people has always been it's a soft spot in my life as far as like just me learning, like touching on like every single negative experience I've had almost came from me being helpful. So I'm not gonna say all of it was like the other person's fault. A lot of it is my fault. But
True.
Then that's where accountability comes in.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I say like it's a soft spot because it's a lot of the negative as well as the positive in my life equated with my need to help, my willingness to help.
Right.
So it's like it's playing an integral part. Like I wouldn't be a writer if I wasn't a helpful person. Like me wanting to help another person feel good by writing poems, or me wanting to help a person get through a certain situation by writing a script and then putting it on screen.
Right.
So being helpful is everything to me. But to just, but just to me though, not sure how it will affect everybody else. Mark, I'm pretty sure a lot of your situations came from with you wanting to help.
Mm-hmm.
Ave, I know you've had your moments of, and we didn't sit here and talk so much like, all the time. Like you didn't help, and then it's just like it backfired.
Yeah. When you in certain situations, and what I can say is like the most of it came from like, not the background part I'm about to say, but most of the willing to like want to help others came from like my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then if it wasn't her, it was like a lot of the OGs around here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it is like little stories where it was just like, damn, you know what? I need to strive and be better so I can be in a position to do this and do that. Like how I see they doing. Like I want to impact people like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it just like little simple stuff. And of course, the universe tries to take you in the opposite direction. But you know, that's life. So you just got to fight against it and, you know, go for what you really want to do and believe in. But yeah, the helping thing is just, and I can't wait to see what the future holds because, you know, if we have our way, we got massive plans. Not just for us, but for like tons of people.
Yeah. And we talked about this beforehand when we started the whole 4 of a kind stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We was mentioning how we wanted to create a solid foundation for the DMV area for people who wanted to do film and photography and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like we had the community thing as a base before we even had an idea of what we wanted to film first.
Right. And just so people don't have to move to Cali or feel like they have to move to Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like you just bring the forefront here. And yeah, it's definitely gonna get done one way or another.
Yeah, and until then, like, we're gonna strive for it as much as we can. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're gonna keep working, and just so we can build a better foundation for everybody, and so we can help everybody. And if we inspire some people along the way to do so, so be it. That's what we're here for.
Facts.
Same thing. How Mark is here right now. He wants to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey.
And Mark inspires me, man. Both of y'all inspire me. Tons of people inspire me, technically. I'm inspired. Like, I'm so easily, like, I'm a whore when it comes to being inspired.
And now you're sharing the wealth.
Yeah, bro. Man's like SpongeBob. He absorbing everything.
Yeah. I be saying, like, the slightest of stuff, and I just be like, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that inspires me right there. Like, you know, like, yeah.
That leaf on the ground.
Yeah.
Man, that's some inspiring shit.
Yeah.
How it moves with the wind.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's inspiring.
Man, the sun rose a different way yesterday. The ability to just change like that. It's inspiring.
Just imagine being easily inspired, bro. That means you got hella creativity that's gonna come your way.
I hope.
Stuff like that inspires. Like I may have seen that as like I made it into like a joke, but stuff like that inspires me all the time. Like
yeah, it really does. Like when you're a creative person, like you just anything literally the way you wash your hands or like anything just it's just fascinating. Like you know what I'm saying? Like yeah, I don't.
Man, it pays off to zone off and daydream. You know, I mean, I actually do believe, you know, the biggest creative people are daydreamers, of course.
I'm a huge daydreamer.
Yeah,
I've done it like
I'll
3
trail
times.
off in a heartbeat.
I've done it like 3 times on this podcast.
Yeah.
You know.
You ain't
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I was sitting
You
like,
ain't the
you know,
only one.
sometimes I had to keep looking up and down.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
stuff was coming and going.
Yeah, so
Like midway through this, I probably done created like 3 poems. Like
yeah.
probably made a song or something. So trailing off it's not a bad thing.
As long as you know what you know, it's not a form. A lot of people will say it's a form of procrastination, but as long as you're utilizing it.
Just because you seem absent to people on the outside doesn't mean you're actually absent. So
Yeah.
That's facts.
I mean, the absence in one place will present itself in another.
Yeah. So if you're out there and you're trying to be a giving person, just jump off the cliff. Do it. You don't need nobody. You know, I know that's nice. A lot of people would want people to usher them in, but you know,
Yeah.
you just do it. Just help somebody today.
I used to be one of them people that wanted to be like sort of like ushered in, but I was still helping people on the side. But it's just like on a mass scale, did I really want to help people without anybody else being at the forefront? I was like, nah, I couldn't do that because I was so closed off. But after a while, I just got to a point I was like, I can do this without it. Like I don't need the people to usher me in. I don't need anybody to hold my hand, move me forward. I can do it myself. Like I saw that sort of like a crutch. It was like I need somebody to just be there if I fall backwards. No, I don't need that.
Right.
Yeah. Because if you keep waiting, you might end up waiting forever.
Yeah. And which is the main reason why I just said forget it, and I just started doing everything the way I wanted to, which was in turn a helpful thing for other people. Because I probably would not have done half of the stuff that I had done for you, Mark, had I not gotten past that. I would not have been able to like talk to you the way that I did in order to help you out, or Avery in that matter, or myself.
And I appreciate it, by the way. I definitely had to throw that out there. But yeah, that's definitely that pressure, man.
Yeah. Diamond in the rough, man.
Yeah. And I say thank you to both of you, because I've gotten my inspirations from both of you in multiple occasions, because a lot of my short films that I made with Mark was from conversations that I had with him. So I had an idea in my head and I wanted him for it. And then a lot of the things that I had for you is like a lot of it being comedic based, but I have a lot of serious ideas that will work best for you. But as of right now, we just gotta get the ball rolling a little bit. So once we get everything situated and all that, like all this stuff is gonna come to fruition, and I owe a lot of that to y'all, because without y'all, like that, y'all technically are my inspiration for a lot of the stuff that I write. So if I'm able to come up with a lot more stuff that's more heartfelt, and then get you guys into a more dramatic presence, then hey, you might unlock something outside of yourself that you never thought you had.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's where his stuff came from, like him being in more dramatic roles. Like he was able to further express himself in the very darker portions that he had already been experiencing. And then with you, like you have a lot more of the darker experiences too, but yours a little bit more drawn out. So I'd have to do a little bit more elaborate work with you, as far as like the script and stuff is concerned. But it's coming. And with that, man, today was a real good day, first and foremost.
Definitely was.
Facts.
And very productive. I really appreciate both of y'all wholeheartedly. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Like, even off air, we joke and shit. I say I can't stand y'all. I tell Mark to fuck off all the time.
Yeah.
I still love y'all, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's all love.
as
Even
always.
when I posted when I posted the clip earlier, she commented on it. She was like, "Y'all stay arguing."
I saw that. I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, that was her.
Oh,
so
man.
yeah, she was like, "Y'all stay arguing," but that to the outside, that's what it just. But nah, it's just this is so much fun.
Yeah, it is, man. Like the little arguments, like the petty stuff that we do go through. It's
just
hilarious.
Fun. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I definitely appreciate y'all, man.
Man, most definitely. I appreciate the both of y'all, man. And then, with that marks the end of another Breaking the Narrative podcast. I'm Tony.
I'm Teddy.
I'm Mark Anthony.
And we out of here.